IBTC, a member of Standard Bank Group.
This is Rotus, the engine. We're listening to Smooth Breakfast.
Business trends beyond the headlines. Business Express on Smooth 98.1 in association with Stanbic IBTC. Stanbic IBTC, it can be.
Good morning, Lagos. Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. It's time for Business Express 91. And as always, Rotus is here to lead us through conversations this morning. And today we'll be talking about capital markets review with Stanbic IBTC. And we also have a very special guest joining us. Her name is Bimbo Moronkola. Good morning, Bimbo. Good morning, Rotus. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Kayode. Good morning, Rotus. And thank you for having me here.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, Bimbo.
Hi, Rotus. So, Rotus, what's up?
Can you hear me? Okay, great. Yeah. Good morning, Kayode. Good morning, Bimbo. Good morning to all our viewers, our listeners. Yeah. So we're going to be going over the markets. Bimbo is an equities trader with Stanbic IBTC. So we'll be talking stocks, talking about recent activities on the exchange. And Bimbo, I want to start off with Boa Foods. I want to get your thoughts on, people have been asking me questions about Boa Foods, the recent listing, the incredible price appreciation. Well, what do you make of it all, Bimbo?
Okay, thank you. So the Boa Foods listing was a positive one to the Nigerian Stock Exchange. It was listed at 14 naira, and after the listing, we've seen volumes traders cross deals go through in the market, and there was a day there was a cross of about 1 billion units, and then since then we've seen volumes traded in that in that name, and the prices are, like you mentioned, price appreciated. It went as high as 66 naira at some point and settled back at 61 levels. Basically, it was more of this cross deals act, and the fact that it was a listing by introduction. We do not think that the shares are actually in the hands of many investors. So it was more of the cross deal that gingered the price appreciation, and I'll say that it's based on the figures and the information we got from the fact behind the listing is the stock to look at, to watch out for, in terms of the management account report that we received that was released by the company, the 11-month period management account of 2021, which revealed the fact that the revenue grew by 58% and the PBT margin expanded by 20 basis points. It's a good one, and it's a stock that investors should continue to look out for. It's currently traded at a P ratio of about 11 compared to its flour meat, which is currently traded at a P ratio of 4.36. And so, like I said, it's a stock to actually look out for, based on look from the facts behind the listing. We were made to understand that the company is even investing in backward integration in their cement and sugar business, and also all the expansion plans of the company. It's what shows that the stock is something that investors will eventually love to invest in. So that's my take on it.
And just for our viewers, PBT, of course, I think that's profit before tax, and the P ratio is a price earnings ratio. Just for our listeners, they're a metric for measuring stocks on the exchange. Dangote Cements, that's another stock. I think they started their share buyback program yesterday. I think that ends today. Why are they doing that? Why are they embarking on that?
Okay, so there are different reasons for companies to do buybacks. Various, so it's an avenue to distribute value to shareholders. And like I said, some believe that the market has discounted its shares too steeply, so it's reinvest in itself, and also it's also a means to improve their financial ratios. But for Dangote Cement, it is expected to support the continuous capital structure and balance sheet optimization process of the company. So the repurchasing, purchasing of the shares what will help them also improve their cost capital and enhance investors' value. So it's a good one for Dangote Cement. That's my take on it.
If you're out there, guys, and you want to, be a part of our show, by the way, just join on YouTube. It's youtube.com/smooth981FM Lagos, or just send a message to our WhatsApp platform, 0809-444-0981, if you got questions for Rotus and Bimbo. So go on.
All right. Any benefits for investors just to, as far as that share buyback is concerned?
Like I said, it's a form of redistributing value. Looking at the current price of the stock, is trading at 270. It's a good one for them. So for investors that will be looking to sell at this point in time, yes, they will be, of course, they would have made in terms of price appreciation. It's a good one for them. And if you continue to hold on to the shares, of course, there's a room for price appreciation, because, like I said earlier on, it's a means for the company to continue its capital structure and balance sheet optimization process, and of course that will enhance value to investors. So it's a good one, and those are the benefits that the investors will enjoy based on it.
Speaking of price appreciation, I'll look at two other stocks. So we've talked Boa Foods, we've talked Dangote Cement, Airtel and Seplat. We saw Airtel appreciate by 10% yesterday. Seplat, I think 4.5%. I think Airtel closed at 1,155 naira. I think that's a new 52-week high. Seplat at 720. That's a 9-week high. It's hard to gauge these things, and it's a tough question. But any idea what the triggers were behind both stocks appreciating yesterday?
Okay, so for Airtel and Seplat, it's basically more of demand from foreign investors. We saw this last year. We saw like improved buying interest from foreign investors and in those two names, and that's basically what's continued into this year, and especially yesterday. It was more of demand from the foreign investors that actually triggered that price increase, and we expect to continue to see that.
That's good. Any stock that has demand from foreign investors, that one I'll put on my radar. Well, what sectors, Bimbo, do you think would be on the radar of investors on the market this year?
Okay, so for us, it has always been the top quality names, as in we'll still in the banking sector. It's still the likes of GTB and Zenith for us, and for the consumer space, we'll talk about the likes of Okomo, Presco, and Dangote Cement for the cement sector, and also in the like we just mentioned the likes of the Seplats, and based on the demand we're seeing. But the topics, like I said, are actually the GTB, the Zenith, Okomo, Presco, and Nigerian breweries in the brewery sector.
Okay. Now, as far as Nairametrics has an article that looked at consumer goods stocks that beat inflation last year, individual stocks. Now, as an index, the consumer goods index, it didn't beat the exchange last year. I think it was up 2.7%. NGX was up 6%. Do you have a take on the consumer goods sector?
Yes, like I mentioned, even the likes of Okumo, I mentioned as one of our top picks. Last year it gained about the price gain in Okumo was about 56.04%, and it outperformed the average inflation rate of 16. The average inflation rate of about 16.98% of 2021. Yeah, it outperformed it by 39.06%. So looking even at their 9 months ended September 30th results, the net profit of the company grew by 132.14%, from 4.99 billion to about 11.6 billion. So like I said earlier on, it's one of our top picks in terms of their performance, and we expect that to continue in this year. So for the consumer space, consumer sectors, the stocks there are stocks to actually look into, and of course, it's one of the recommended sectors where I will expect investors to look at and invest in this year. So aside from Okwo, like I also mentioned Presco earlier, and Presco is another name that actually gained about 23.75% last year. So the consumer sector, look, then going to Guinness as well. Guinness also gained over 100, as in terms of price, gained over 105% last year, as in outperforming the inflation rate, average inflation rate by 88.28%. So yes, you're right. It's a sector. The consumer goods sector is a sector that we expect investors to look into, and because if you invest and made such return last year, looking at it, we expect that trend to continue this year, and that's why I would say it's a sector to actually look into.
All right, guys, we've got a few messages here. Let's quickly jump into those messages. This one here from Richard says, good morning, crew. What is balance sheet optimization? That's from Ben. And he further says, how does share buyback achieve this? And this one here says, good morning, Rotus and Bimbo. Please, ask Bimbo, what is the outlook for equity market this year? And do we see foreign investors coming back to the market soon? Also from Richard, this one from Otunuga Sunday says, why are we not seeing similar movements as we have seen in the Splatoon and Airtel in Oando, which is equally listed in South Africa? And this one says, please, what happened to GTB? For the first time in a long while, its price is now below Zenith Bank. What's the reason? And another person here comes in to ask that, this one, Rotus, I'm going to send you a personal message. So this one is directed to you. Okay.
Lots of questions there. Okay, well, I think I had one of those questions on my list for Bimbo. Bimbo, what's your outlook? I mean, it's still January. I'm not sure we can get to all those questions, but thank you. What's your outlook for the equities markets this year? In fact, I was going to even throw that in there. I wanted to also throw in, do you think domestic investors will carry the market this year like they did in 2021? And then maybe we can get to balance sheet optimization and a few of the other questions that were asked. Go ahead, Bimbo. Let's see how many we can take.
Okay, so in terms of so I'll pick the first one, which is about domestic investor, as in investors carrying the market this year. So for the foreign investors, we still looking at what happened last year. Still, in terms of their participation, was quite low, and basically because of the FX liquidity issues, and except if something changed in that trend in terms of the FX liquidity, if it improves, that's when we might likely see more participation from them. So because basically what we've seen in recent time is still them trying to exit their position in Nigeria. So basically, if something improves in terms of FX liquidity, we might get to start seeing more interest from the foreign investors. So it's likely that it is still more of domestic participation that will drive the market this year. And in terms of our outlook, it's a pre-election year, 2022. So it's a bit dicey. And also, I'll say that looking at our outlook for this year, we expect, looking at the budget plans of the government, we expect that there will be more borrowing, and our outlook is that its interest rate might inch higher, and if interest rates inches higher, then we will likely see more of investors skewed towards the fixed income. That's in terms of institutional investors skewed towards the fixed income market. And if that happens, it might still be we might see like a low participation in the equities market. But overall, we expect the market to still close positive if there are triggers in terms of policy reviews and all that will be in favor of the market. We'll see the likes of dividend play for the year-end results and all that. But however, we expect the markets to, we hopefully, for me, my outlook is that the market is just close slightly positive, but we may not see a real buzz if interest rate inches higher, and if there's no improvement in terms of the FX policies in Nigeria. We may not see serious participation from, as in much participation from the foreign investors.
Great stuff. Real quick, I think okay, we've run out of time actually. Okay, I'm gonna
time, Rotus.
send us. Yeah, I'll send us. I'll send as many of those questions to me as possible so I can answer them. Respond to the listeners that sent those questions. I'll respond to everybody that sent a question. Bimbo, Moronkula. Did I get that right?
Moronkola.
Moronkula. Okay.
There we go.
Thank you. Equities trader, Stanbic IBTC. We thank you so much for your time and for joining us today. Thanks everybody for your messages. I will answer every other question we didn't get to. Kayode, thank you so much. And I guess we'll catch you guys tomorrow for Tech Friday.
Thanks, guys. All right, Lagos, there is more to come. So